Alright, chat. Finally found out how to record stuff on the PlayStation. So, this will be the first video on here. I still don't know how copyright stuff works. So, for the time being, there will be no emotes. Well, none of the icon emotes, I guess. Can't have any of those, you know. I don't have the money to be getting copyrighted. Right for that. But I was like, no, why not play my first match of ranked, see where I can land. Haven't played a rank this season at all. Just play some normal matches. Yeah. I would say I'd make this a yapping video, but just made another one, and I have nothing else to yap about. At least not for the time. But now we will be staying quiet. Not quiet. I won't be yapping. Oh, it's just oh. I love how y'all been liking the new season. I've been pretty decent. You know, I was a little the shotguns really. I didn't like the shotguns too much, like when the season first dropped, but I've definitely been warming up to it. I've liked them. Like, the more I use them, the more. But yeah, the more I use them, the more I've actually like liking them. I've grown, or they've grown on. They've grown. They've grown. Especially the twin ones. I thought these really sucked, but these have definitely grown up as well. I don't know which ones I like more though, but at the very least, I do really like these ones. I think I got like an hour and a half before I gotta go to work. Let's talk about that, I guess. Can I work at a? You know, I would say like, if you're getting your first job, don't work at a movie theater. Do not work at a movie theater unless if you know the one like in your town or nearby is pretty cool. If not, don't work there. It was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life. You know, the only reason I'm still there is because I'm very loyal. So now that I have the job, I don't really want to quit because I have no reason to. Besides me just hating the job. And like I've heard nowadays, it's like the job economy is terrible. Can't get a job anywhere. So why give up my perfectly good job just because I don't like it? You know, and that's some words of wisdom right there. You know, just because you don't like something, you know, doesn't mean you stop doing it, or at least not all the time. Like if you need to do it, then you do it even if you don't. You know, that's a little bit of words of wisdom from and message to myself. But I don't know. I would say I don't really hate the job. It's really just the customers. I just hate the customers. The customers suck. You know, sometimes they're cool, and then other times they're the most conceited, most this what's the other word? Uh, uh, I'm slow. What? Yeah. What's the word for like? Hold up. Let me think. The most entitled. There we go. Yeah. Sometimes they're just like the most conceited and entitled people you ever meet in your entire life, and they just want nothing but just to ruin your life and make your day terrible. You know. And then sometimes the coworkers. Oh, Jesus, the coworkers are just. Like, I never really thought it was that hard to scoop some popcorn into a bag and give it to somebody. You know, but some people just make it seem like it's like the hardest thing in the world. You know, same thing with like just sweeping up popcorn on the ground and throwing it away. You know, some people just make it seem like it's just impossible to do it. You know, so it's like having to deal with customers who think they like deserve everything in the world, and then coworkers who act like they're complete idiots. You know, it's something worse. It's just like it's the worst combo in the world. It's the worst combo in the world. You know. But even with that, I still I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the job. Mainly because like I have some really good managers. I like a decent amount of my managers. That's like pretty cool. Now there are a few, and by a few I really mean one. No, I can't say no names, of course. Because I don't want to lose my job. There's like, I think I said there's like one manager that I specifically just don't really, well, thanks. That was a free list. Uh, I don't think I'd say I hate him. No, of course I don't. But he's not really the greatest guy in the world. He's kind of a douche. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, he's just kind of a douche. He's one of those guys that like that. Oh my, yeah, he's one of those guys that's like in front of or like when you're in front of him, he talks all this. He acts like how girls do around like other girls. How they say good stuff in front of you, and then like talk mess back behind your back. Now, is it because he just so happens to like people of the same gender? I don't know. Maybe because maybe because he's homosexual, it makes him like gossip and like girls do. But he's like incredibly annoying with that. Like he'll act all friendly in front of you, and then as soon as you're gone, he'll be like, "Oh, I hate that guy," or "I hate them. They suck at their job." And like like if he wants somebody gone, he really tries to get them. Again, can't say no names. I'm saying, but yeah, it's not really the greatest. Plus, he's another one of those people that like, he's a manager that just like doesn't really do anything. Now it's like I understand he's a senior manager and he's been there for like 5, 6 years. Could have made a joke there, but I mean like, just because you've been there for a minute doesn't mean you can't come downstairs, and just help out everybody else. Like other people do. Cause, I see my other managers, the ones I actually like. They be down there in the trenches with us, fighting the good fight. You know what I'm saying? Like serving those customers just like we do. And then there's him who just like sits upstairs and like barely does it. But I mean, like for the most part, my coworkers and my managers are pretty chill. That's honestly the only reason I keep it. Or they're honestly the only reason I still work at that place. Because if they weren't as cool as they were, I would have been left there a while ago. Well, that's a lie. I'm too much of a wuss to leave. But I definitely would be hating my job a lot more. But I guess one of the perks of the job is you get to see free movies. I went to go see the Minecraft movie when that one first dropped. Like I literally saw it opening night. It was great. Like I ended up getting like 10 free tickets. I'm not even supposed to be able to get 10, but one of the people I was cool with was in the box office, so they let me slide and grab as many tickets as I wanted. And I had like a ton of my friends from school all come to see it, and like we were all like in the front row. It was a blast. Still one of the like funniest movies I went to go see. Not because the movie was funny, but just because like the people like went to go see it with. Hold up. There we go. But yeah, people I went to go see it with, just made it, really all the more fun, Ooh. Oh, he's spinning the block. Oh, gotta go. Yo, these people are the third party. But yeah. The real question is, I really wonder, like, I don't know how long I'm gonna stay working there. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon, but I mean, I will leave eventually. I was really thinking, I'm gonna be in college for maybe 5 years. I could always like keep the job the entire time. I don't know. Pay is also terrible too. They like pay me. Pay is like I only get paid like I started off working there. I was getting paid $10, and I've been there for a year and a half, and I've only went up 65 cents. So the raises are pretty mid. I hate hearing from like my other friends we work like these other jobs, and like my other friend cuts grass and like puts up Christmas lights, and he's getting paid like 18 an hour, and his manager's like one of the nicest people I've ever like seen. I haven't even met the guy, but anytime my friend like shows me messages between them, he's just like, "Hey, you know what? You know, thank you guys. You guys are great workers. You guys get off on Thanksgiving, and you'll still get paid." Or you know, like he gives paid time off. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. If I brought that up to my managers, they laugh because I've never even seen. Oh, there's somebody right there. I've never even seen or heard of a paid time off. But like, I wish they didn't that to me. Instead, for me, I have to pull doubles on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So last year when I first started working there, I didn't see my family on Thanksgiving. Literally, I woke up. I woke up at 6 o'clock, and I just went to work. I woke up, like, got dressed, took a shower, and then like an hour and a half later, I had to walk all the way to work. Boom, there I was, and I was there from opening till 12 that night. So I didn't see my family. I didn't get to eat any food. It was just me doing work, and that was literally it. Christmas was the same thing, but I think with Christmas, I went in like, I didn't go in at 8, I went in at 9. But I mean, like, it was still dang near the same thing. And I do all that just like, please don't hit me. Yeah, I do all that just for like time and a half. You know, so like even with time and a half, that's only $16, which is still less than how much my friend makes. You know, but I've learned to be be happy with what I got. At least I got it. You know, there's other people with no jobs. There's other people that's poor, and who are like living out, uh, who are living out on the streets. You know, that's one thing you can definitely think about. You know, no matter what, there's usually 9 times out of 10 always somebody who has it worse. You know, so thank God for what you got. But what the sounded like an elephant just broke down my door. Hopefully y'all didn't hear that. But like especially when like like some of the easiest jobs there, it's just like podium, just kind of sit there in a chair, or you stand up and you just kind of wait for people to walk into the theater. You just check in their ticket and say, all right, you go here, you go there, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's one of the easier jobs there. And there's like the bathroom job, which you just kind of walk around with a card and you just make sure the bathrooms are clean, and you do that all day. That one's pretty easy too. I don't really know how anybody would struggle with that. Really, at the end of the day, it's not. I don't think anybody really struggles with the job. It's just people are lazy. That's one thing you'll really like if you haven't had your first job yet. So you get your first job, you'll realize that some people are really lazy, or you'll realize that you're one of those people that are really lazy. If you're one of those people, you're a loser. I just want you to know. Like I had one coworker. She's gotten a little better now, but like the last day I had to work with her before she went off to college was one of the worst days I've ever had to work. She just like wouldn't do anything. We're supposed to be walking around cleaning up the theaters. And that day, people just so happened to really want to be messy. And she was just walking around with me, and she just wasn't cleaning anything. She would walk into the theater, she just sat down. While me and the other girl are, sitting there cleaning, she's just sitting around just lollygagging, just sitting there just having a good time, just not cleaning. I'm just like, you want to clean or something? Just nope, just on her phone, doing nothing with her life. And like it was just pissing me off. And like the last straw was like I was sitting there trying to clean up all this stuff. Like one theater, like people had left like a ton of trash and stuff, like so much to where I had to get like a separate trash bag, walk up and down each aisle, pick up everything. And as I was doing that, there was so much trash in it. the bag ended up ripping, and it was just spilling like dirty trash juice all the way down the hall. So I had to like hurry up and run and go. I had to like hurry up and run and go take it down the stairs, and then come clean it back up. And while I was running to go do that, I saw her in the corner of my eye, sitting down in like on the first row, just on her phone. And then she looked up at like the trash, and she was like, "Ugh." And I'm just like, "You're sitting here saying ew," while I'm sitting here actually trying to like do my job, and like it just made me mad. It made me mad, you know. So I sat in there for 10 minutes trying to clean everything up. When I was finally done cleaning, I tried to walk out. The other girl who was there, she was like telling all the other workers, or she was telling all the customers, like, "Hey, uh, it's cleaning right now." What, dude? Yeah. But yeah, and she was telling all the, she was telling all of the, what's the word? She was telling all of our customers. She was like, if y'all can stay outside, please. There's no cleaning. And uh, when I was done cleaning, I walked out, and then I was like, "Hey, the other girl, she's gone, right? Like she's not still here. Like when I walk out there, she's not gonna be there, right?" She was like, "Yeah, yeah, she's gone." I won. She was like, "Yeah, she's not gonna be out there. I gotta find anyone I can actually do that's not gonna get me. Hold up. Whoa, what the? I like the way they changed it up. Hold up. I got one email I can do. Hold up. Where's it at? 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 Uh, uh, I can't find it. It's gone. Wait, no. There it is. There it is. Never mind. Can't see it. What did I get? What rank? Bronze two. After a match like that? I guess whatever. But yeah, I walked out there. She was still sitting there, and she was talking to another one of our coworkers. She was saying, and like, no, I heard them. I saw them. And I was like, oh, why is she still here? And I turned around and I tried to walk the other way, but I overheard the other coworker and her talking, and I heard the other coworker say, "I don't do any work." And then she looked over at the girl and she pointed. She was like, "But she definitely doesn't do any work." And like I snapped. I was like, "There's no way these two idiots are going band for band on who's more lazy." It just made me like, cause I just hate people who are that lazy. It just made me like I almost wanted to like shoot her in GTA. In GTA, of course, not in real life, GTA. But like, no, it ticked me off so much, and I started going like, "Ugh." And there was a customer right there, and they definitely saw me make that noise, and like I had to calm down and walk away. But I was just like, it ticked me off to no end, and that was like the last time I saw her until like 2 weeks ago. She came back to work, but this time she was back there, in concessions, making popcorn and stuff. So she was a little more tolerable. I think she's changed. She might have matured just a tad bit. She's still annoying to listen to. I still hate her voice, but she's not as bad as she was. I decided to give her another shot. I was like, I'm not gonna. I was like, I'm gonna give her a chance to redeem herself, and so far she has. She's not that bad to deal with. But hey, first video on Fort, and we got to win. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. We out.